The civil society group CSG asserted that Nigerian democracy is an illusion. Despite gaining independence, Nigerians have not enjoyed the dividends of democracy, even though millions of citizens bravely fought for it and making significant sacrifice in the process.
Nigerians have suffered sufficiently enough in the hands of terrorists and their enablers, and it is time to bring an end to this wicked, brutal attack on innocent Nigerians, especially women and children. So we are glad that we are all going to be working together to support the efforts of government to prevent and also detect those who are making life miserable for Nigerians. This dialogue remains critical to galvanize all-inclusive conversation on the theme's focus, given the recurring threat to lives and property from many Nigerians occasioned by terrorism and violent extremism that have, caused a lot of mayhem in our country. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you will all agree with me that terrorism constitutes a global threat, and Nigeria, unfortunately, is one of the countries that faces a higher level of terrorism. While attempts to combat terrorism and violent extremism in the country continue, policy attention has been shifted toward many sources of terrorism financing, which have continued to fuel terrorism and other violent conflicts in our country. Without doubt, terrorism financing is backbone of terrorist group, as funds go into buying weapons, recruiting militia, and opening terrorist organizations, just as the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, put it. Terrorist groups need money to sustain themselves and carry out their wicked terrorism acts.
Be both seminar and profitable in confronting the scourge of terrorism financing that oxygenate the activities of violent organizations such as Boko Haram, ISWAP, and those of Yan bin Diga and Yan Tada that are on the fringes of Nigeria. I need not overstate that the fact that we are all living witnesses to the devastation and untold hardship that citizens in this region of Nigeria have been subjected to through the scourge of insurgency, banditry, kidnappings for more than a decade now. Thousands of families have been displaced, uprooted from their ancestral homes, and turned into refugees. In their own country, vast swatches of arable land have been turned into killing fields, left uncultivated, thereby compounding Nigeria's food security challenges. The nation's lean resources are stretched out on huge yearly outlay in military spending. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenge before us is to seek solutions to end this decade-long nightmare and restore order to the troubled region. And I believe this is the thing we can do, given the commitment and given the support of all Nigerians. The quest for solution is not entirely new. Several conferences and workshops have been convoked, yet the solution remains dire. And for us in AFCC, like most Nigerians, the concern is how this crisis continues to defy solution and fester. How is it that the terrorist groups in the region are able to sustain their operations, acquire more sophisticated weaponry, and engage in daring combat with the Nigerian military?
As we know, violent attacks and campaign of terror in Northeast started in 2009. Almost 15 years after, the region is yet to recover. Thousands have been killed, properties worth billions destroyed, millions displaced from their ancestral homes, millions of children are out of school, poverty and malnutrition have worsened, etc. The devastation caused by this campaign of terror cannot be easily quantified. The overall impact of terrorism has been profound. The process of rebuilding shattered communities and restoring stability will come at a cost, but it is a task that must be done. But the question is, how did this start? And how were these violent acts sustained over years? The answer to these important questions are necessary if we are determined to dismantle the sophisticated networks that manage the illicit flows of finance that facilitate the purchase of arms, the recruitment of terrorists, operational logistics that help to sustain the reign of terror. Tackling this intricate problem of terrorism financing is essential, as it is fundamental to crippling the operational capabilities of extremist groups and restoring peace and security to the region. To this end, this meeting could not have come at a better time. Poverty, illiteracy have been identified as some of the main causes of terrorism in Nigeria.